She was shaking, snapping her fingers.
This place again? We already took care of this guy, Ronnie. Remember? You tossed him over like 3 different county lines.
You fucking loser! Look, all I know is his name's on the list. And if you had done your job, we'd already be at the titty bar right now.
You're the one who decided to throw him. What are you, Nolan Ryan? Who throws people?
Because you're too squeamish to use live rounds, Frank.
No, Ronnie. It's not my fault you blew our ammo budget on Hustlers University. You fucking idiot.
I regret nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finest thing to hit the internet since Review Bra. It's the Billy Bankweather Show. I am your well-lubricated announcer, Bovon Fingerman, and my tasteful nudes are finally for sale on Etsy.
Please sign my wife's colostomy bag, Bovon.
Now please give praise to our special guests, Shania and Mark Twain.
Congratulations on the nudes, Bovon.
Please quit storing your hemorrhoid ointment in the refrigerator, Bovon. Ain't gonna tell you again.
Now please welcome your humble host. He's broker than Piers Morgan's character from Home Alone 2. It's the honorary fat mayor of YouTube. It's a Barnyard Bernie.
He's got a face like a camel's nutsack.
Well, friends, the D.A.R.Y.L fans have spoken. That's right. It turns out there are actual devotees of Simon Wincer's mostly forgotten 1985 robot feature, D.A.R.Y.L. I can't be sure if...
Whoa, Barry. You okay, bro? Seem kind of keyed up.
Barry is clearly dealing with an anxiety disorder. But give me just 3 minutes alone with his prostate, and I promise I can...
No, that's not necessary, Bovon. Now, what's the deal, Barry? You worried because the murder bots are back?
No, it goes Leonardo leads, Donatello loves machines.
That's not how it goes.
Yes!
Bet me, asshole.
It's okay, folks. 2024 was a rough year, but old Barry's just gonna power through. Now, Simon Wincer is not a well-known director. He's responsible for 1996's The Phantom and 1993's Free Willy. But beyond that, this guy's IMDb page is emptier than my 401k. Nevertheless, he managed to pull together a pretty good cast for the D.A.R.Y.L movie, including young Barret Oliver, who had starred in Neverending Story just 1 year earlier, along with the stunningly versatile Michael McKean, whom most of you remember from the ever-popular HBO series Dream On. And maybe Short Circuit, too. He really hasn't appeared in much else.
Barry, that man's IMDb page is longer than my dick. What's your deal?
Well, my head's just a little... It's cramped in here.
Barry, you knew you couldn't keep this up forever, bro. You're finally losing it for good. I mean, ask yourself, what's the most likely scenario here? Do you honestly believe you spent the last 16 months taking shit from a sentient fly? Bro, I've been dead for over a year.
What? That's impossible.
Yeah, well, it gets worse. Bovon's not real either. None of us are real, Barry. It's just you. A sad, lonely man whose sanity is slowly burning down like the butt of a cheap Newport, locked in an endless battle with himself.
Plus, he looks like Porkins from Star Wars.
Piss off, Bovon. Now, wait a minute, Fly. You saying the murder bots aren't real either?
No, the murder bots are definitely real. And as soon as they finish arguing over whose fist goes into which of your orifices, they will destroy you, Barry.
Yeah, but they destroyed me once already. And this movie's not gonna review itself, folks. Now, Simon Wincer's D.A.R.Y.L movie is worth our attention because it's mostly forgotten. But it is somewhat illuminating as a kind of time capsule for our Western anxieties about robots and the prospect of artificial intelligence back in the mid-'80s, coming off the heels of the U.S. Cold War with Soviet dictators, whom a lot of you fucking dumbasses are now so fond of. So this was an era when robots were showing up more regularly in movies and whatnot. Some of you decrepit asswipes might even remember a mostly forgotten sitcom that featured a robo-daughter. Yeah, I bet you remember that shit. Now, in terms of the potential Cold War anxieties, Daryl shares at least some similarities with 1989's Robot Jocks. It sets up the old secret weapon trope that was so common at the time. We'll explain that later on. Anyway, the D.A.R.Y.L movie opens on a note of mystery. Young Daryl has been abandoned somewhere in Appalachia, and he seems to be suffering from amnesia.
And what you doing up in these parts?
I don't know.
But Daryl gets saved by Falcor the Dog Dragon, voiced by the legendary Sir Sean Connery.
Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Now, Bovon, I told you not to snort any more of Mark's vitamin powder. Those aren't actual vitamins. Shit-ass.
Nah, Barry, we got bored with the Colombian party powder. See, these days we're snorting a mix of hydrogen peroxide and pure, crystallized scorpion venom. And now I can see inside my own limbic system. Ooh, you gotta try it.
Brrr, filthy degenerates. So Daryl gets adopted by a foster family, including Andy Daddy and gorgeous Joyce.
Your last one?
Why? You want to fool around?
Brrr, is it just me or is Joyce kind of cute?
Oh, Jesus, Barry, keep it in your unwashed pants.
Yeah, Barry? Joyce ain't nearly as hot as the school nurse. Oh, yes. Grab a thermometer, baby. Bovon needs a checkup.
Yeah, so before long, Daryl's foster parents start to notice that there's something special about their special new boy. For starters, he handles a baseball bat better than Eli Roth. And he's also highly adept at them 1980s video games. And of course, this little shit-ass can play piano like a savant, which gets gorgeous Joyce all juiced up between the knees. Yeah, she's about to slide right off her goddamn stool.
Stop hating! You're just mad because this kid's foster parents give him more love in a weekend than your folks gave you your entire miserable life.
Yeah, so it turns out that Daryl's also got a knack for numbers.
There is an error in the 8th decimal place, but only a calculus system could show that.
But he's also a smug little prick who mocks his elders for having disabilities.
Slut!
And he speaks blasphemies to Andy Daddy and gorgeous Joyce.
Kiss my ass.
See, you keep insinuating that Daryl's a robot, but he's clearly supposed to be autistic. I think you should apologize, Barry. Your analysis is very dehumanizing.
But Daryl's not supposed to be autistic.
Apologize, Barry. Bro, there's nothing wrong with being autistic.
Apologize, Barry.
Apologize to the world, Barry. There's nothing wrong with being autistic, but there's a lot wrong with being bankrupt and eating an entire birthday cake when it's not even your birthday.
Okay, folks, I am sincerely sorry. I'm sorry that I'm surrounded by such a pathetic clown cabinet of perverts and junkies and mushmouth Philistines. Not to mention smart-ass talking insects.
Hey, don't forget about us, Barry.
Yeah, Barry. We're gonna style all over you and your big-ass gut.
Anyway, there really is a lost episode where they show Krang's dick, and it looks exactly like you'd expect.
Lying out of your ass.
So anyway, Daryl befriends this neighbor kid, Turtle, who's called Turtle 'cause...
I like turtles.
Yeah, Turtle's a bit slow. And I gotta be honest, this kid actor kind of reminds me of Jeff Cohen from Goonies. Now hear me out. This guy Danny Corkill's a solid actor, and he can turn on the humor when he feels like it.
Who's hooking? My sister, Sherry Lee. Amateur hooker.
Much like Jeff Cohen, this guy simply stopped showing up in movies. He appeared in the original Dune movie and a few others, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, it's actually pretty relevant that you brought up Goonies, Barry. One of the main reasons Daryl tanked at the box office is because Goonies got released that very same summer.
Yeah, and according to this YouTube video that got like 100 views, old Danny Corkill had a fantastic time working on Daryl.
Daryl was the best experience I ever had working in a movie. I mean, bar none. It was just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful group of people.
It sounds like Dan stopped acting for pretty much the same reason as Jeff Cohen. After a while, he had kind of aged out of the kid roles. Look, he seems like a pretty great fucking guy. You Daryl aficionados should listen to the entire interview. We put a link in the description. Anyway, we eventually get these two joyless asswipes who show up claiming to be Daryl's actual parents.
Barry, Please tell me this doesn't turn into a movie about human traps.
No, they really are scientists, and they're bringing Daryl back to their research facility to reveal a chilling secret.
Well, so this boy really is a robot.
It's a metaphor for autism.
It's not a metaphor, asswipe. And he's not a robot. Well, not exactly. Look, his body is organic.
Yeah, well, it says robot right here in the acronym. You diabetic manatee.
Yeah, but the term cyborg wasn't that common in 1985, and the word robot worked better for the acronym. Look, Daryl's body is human, and his brain is made from a refurbished Commodore 64.
What? Mary, this makes no goddamn sense. I mean, when did they implant his computer brain? Shit wouldn't fit inside a baby's head. So how old was he?
I don't know. I guess they waited till Daryl was older.
What? How much older? That's a pretty goddamn big computer. For that matter, Barry, if Daryl's body is biological, where the f did it come from?
Yeah, Barry, and what happened to his original brain?
Well...
Did they hollow it out to make room for the computer?
No, that's stupid.
Why isn't this kid's head all scarred up from the operation?
But shit-ass!
And how does a skull computer from 1985 get electricity?
Well, they probably grew Daryl's body in a test tube, without a brain. Just the body.
Kind of like one of Barry's love dolls.
Man, how can you grow a body without the brain? That's like Bovon without the Alzheimer's.
And what happens when he goes through puberty and his skull continues to expand? Won't the computer brain be rattling around in there?
Yeah, I don't know every last logistical detail, shitheads. Look, this movie definitely takes some liberties. Like this moment where Daryl adjusts the volume of a TV using only his floppy drive.
Maybe down a little.
Anyway, our next point of analysis concerns this movie's anti-military messaging. We're told that General Graycliff here spearheaded the D.A.R.Y.L program in hopes of making advancements towards a military super soldier. But once he finds out that Daryl's IBM-compatible brain has started to think outside the box, old Sergeant Big Nuts here decides it's time to terminate Daryl and build an adult version.
The Youth Life Form project as of now is terminated.
Well, why didn't he just do that from the start? The fuck did Captain Napoleon here hope to gain from making a child-sized Terminator?
Well, that's actually a fair question. Anyway, the critique here is that Graycliff is a ruthless jingo who insists on ending Daryl's life because he doesn't fit the military agenda. Part of Daddy Warbucks' issue is that Daryl seems to be making decisions like a human. Daryl's favorite ice cream is Cherry Garcia, even though he was programmed to prefer Neapolitan.
But there's no difference.
They taste different.
I mean, wouldn't the smartest move for Graycliff be to find a different use for Daryl? Imagine if they put this kid to work reading radar signatures or devising battle tactics or learning alternate languages and gathering intelligence.
Jesus, another county heard from. Yeah, so it's a pretty standard and unsophisticated critique of the military. And it's pretty similar to what we see in other movies like E.T. and RoboCop and whatnot.
Barry, we all know you don't give a shit about the military, bro. You're just pandering because some of our regular commenters appear to be military.
You little shit-ass. So the scientist asswipes who created Daryl, Dr. Lamb and Dr. Stewart, are now tasked with murdering a 10-year-old boy.
Dr. Lamb? Wait a minute. Did that BioShock sequel game give a nod to Daryl with its Dr. Lamb character? I mean, she's also a somewhat foreboding doctor who has a role in conducting research on kids.
Eleanor's condition may be a blessing in disguise. Early splicing tests indicate 0 genetic damage.
But I have no idea what you're talking about. We're bankrupt, remember? We can only afford video game systems if they come from Craigslist. Now, don't you dare interrupt me again unless...
Ad break!
Time to get paid!
G'day, mates! Today's episode is endorsed by
D.A.R.Y.L.
I am told this is an Australian franchise, though I've never actually seen one. Okay, listen, we all love kangaroos, right? Well, bring your loud little shithead children too. They've got an animatronic kangaroo that'll crap all over the floor and then bite your firstborn child. And starting today,
D.A.R.Y.L.
is offering their new Double-Roo Smack Stack. That's 12 ounces of tangy kangaroo meat. All the cashiers will be doing terrible Australian accents. You won't understand a goddamn thing they say. And no chips, you little rippers. They ran out of potatoes months ago. You'll get a carton of deep-fried Aussie spiders and you will like it. Tell them Bankrupt Barry sent you and they'll stick an extra shrimp in your shrimp shake. Okay, that's it. Go spend some money, suckers.
The promo code is Dunny Marcus. The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Game on!
Well, are they still out there?
Barry, I think you know the answer to that question.
No, he's not a grifter, Frank. He's got a degree in neuroscience, and he's friends with Lex Friedman.
Okay, I'll listen to his stupid podcast. Look, can't we just go ahead and kill this Barry guy once and for all?
Frank, I want him to live in fear just a few minutes longer.
Now, the D.A.R.Y.L doctors are practical, and they understand that the responsible thing to do is revoke a 10-year-old boy's ability to carry out metabolism. So they slipped D.A.R.Y.L a couple of rum and cokes, and they put his ass down like a sick dog.
Bite your cream-filled tongue, Barry. They don't actually put D.A.R.Y.L offline. Dr. Stewart hides him under the floorboards and starts driving him over to Juarez so he can cross the border.
Yeah, Juarez, my segmented ass. Look at that sign for Ron John's surf shop. Man, they filmed this shit near Cocoa Beach, down in Florida.
Brr, the fly is right. And these scenes where we're supposed to be looking at D.A.R.Y.L's mainframe were filmed at Epcot.
Okay, so whose blood is that on their operating gowns if it's not D.A.R.L.'s?
But, well, Jesus tain't scraping Christ. I never thought about that.
Not my blood. Not my blood.
That's robot blood, Barry. Bovon can always tell.
No, it's fine, folks. Look, they just murked some other 10-year-old kid and used their blood. D.A.R.Y.L's fine. D.A.R.Y.L's mule, however, is gonna go through hell. First, D.A.R.Y.L shows Dr. Stewart some tricks he learned from those stupid-ass Vin Diesel movies.
Oh, my God. Oh, wait a minute. What are you doing, Daryl?
It's okay, I know what I'm doing.
And then he dunks on those poor, dumbass cops. And friends, everyone knows that we love the cops on this channel. Yeah, I wish this country had more cops. They're just, yeah, they're great.
You see those guys fly? This is 12. Everyone appears.
God damn it, Barry. You didn't tell me the cops were from Cobra Kai. I am very aroused.
And I hate my life. So then Special Boy D.A.R.Y.L talks the good doctor into crashing through a police barrier, which results in the doc getting fatally shotgunned in hilarious fashion. Yeah, shut up, asswipes. We all agree it's high comedy, but Doc Stewart has been redeemed at this point, because he stopped being a shill for aperture science and decided it doesn't matter what kind of ice cream D.A.R.Y.L prefers. If it quacks like a human, we might as well treat it as such. So then, D.A.R.Y.L sneaks right past our good buddy Samuel and Mozart desk lamp and enters Area 52, where he manages to hijack a perfectly good SR-71.
Stop weaving devilish lies, Barry. You telling me this thing was already unlocked and gassed up when D.A.R.Y.L arrived?
Little old D.A.R.Y.L decides to take a joyride to Turtle's house, and he's a pretty good pilot thanks to all them video games he's been playing. Now, our special boy decides to run a bombing campaign over the summer home of Lieutenant, what's his name, Greywater or whatever. But D.A.R.Y.L pulls the wrong lever. Now, if you got half an understanding of military aircraft, you'd know that this here would be a death sentence. At the very least, pilots have to wear a flight harness, and there's no evidence that D.A.R.Y.L miraculously finds a kid-sized one.
You saying D.A.R.Y.L would just be a splatter mark?
Yes, and so would John McClane in Die Hard too. For starters, it's highly unlikely that a cargo plane like this would have been fitted with ejection seats. Plus, the fuses on those grenades are way too long.
Hey, Barry, bro, fuck you and the Datsun you rode in on. You need to take all that bitterness and negativity and pound it right back up your ass where you found it, bud. Don't you dare criticize the Die Hard trilogy.
Asswipe. You know, another thing the military never does is attach the parachute risers directly to the ejection seat, like you see here.
Yeah, probably so that if the pilot gets knocked unconscious and lands in the middle of a lake, he or she won't sink to the bottom like a lead fucking anchor.
So D.A.R.Y.L's dead. He's hanging out at the bottom of Blue Lake next to a bunch of mafia guys and murder weapons and cases of new coke. Everybody's sad and it's all very funny. Go ahead and roll the credits.
Ah, go to hell, Barry.
You're not funny, Barry, and you look like Coach Andy Reid's unemployed brother.
Okay. Daryl's just, well, he's mostly dead. And apparently the only character capable of puzzling out this riddle is the slow kid everybody calls Turtle.
Yeah, but his brain's a microcomputer. That can't die.
Fortunately, Dr. Lamb has left the underwater city of Rapture in order to help her special boy.
I know you can hear me, Daryl.
Well, what's in the briefcase? She got an early copy of Norton Antivirus or something?
Yo, this is the scene Tarantino directed.
Yeah, what's in the case, Barry? What was in the case? What's in the case?
We don't know, asswipes. But it makes sense that if Daryl's brain is a computer, it's not really going to be affected by a lack of oxygen. All's well, I guess. And now they're going to go eat bologna sandwiches and play topless croquet, whatever it is happy rich families do. But in real life, Barret Oliver is now a surly-looking hipster who takes old-timey photographs and disdains the film industry. He looks like the kind of guy who'd dip his balls into your caramel macchiato if you couldn't name all the members of War on Drugs or whatever. As for the film's messaging, I guess you could say it's pretty consistent with contemporary anxieties about automation and artificial intelligence. More often than not, these sorts of movies express technophobia in highly physicalized forms, menacing robots or cyborgs, subjecting humankind to bodily harm. We had no way of knowing that not even 40 years later, the unchecked rise of artificial intelligence would have no need of a clumsy physical vessel.
Oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
AI would already have its most ideal delivery system warmed up and ready to go in the form of the internet. Intelligence systems would have no interest in hunting down common citizens with machine guns. Not if they could get them to hate one another over disinformation and stupid-ass culture war talking points. In hindsight, the physicality of a robot seemed kinda quaint, naive. What we couldn't know at the time was that it was never the robot itself that posed the real threat, but the more subtle forms of destruction AI systems could enact against us.
Yeah, Barry's trying to get all lofty again.
Yeah, Barry. Try giving your physicality speech to the robots outside.
I think it's time for you to pay the piper, Barry boy. And in this case, the piper has a big-ass robot fist.
I know. And I'm not gonna lie. Old Barry's scared.
Hurry up, please! It's time!
Yeah, Barry, you fat putz.
Down a cycloid in a sidecar, a streamlined dream ride through the eye of a poisoned kaleidoscope.
Try not to shit your pants this time.
Welcome to the machine, asshole!
Cutting a helical course and yawing up the wall at speeds that drained his face and rifling through a hot drift of ether where his ears sang.
No mistakes this time, poor mouth!
The stars go rolling down the void like red-hot marbles. These simmering sinners with their cloaks smoking carry the Logos itself from the tabernacle and bear it through the streets, while the absolute pre-barbaric mathematic of the Western world howls them down and shrouds their ragged biblical forms in oblivion. He said, "I am going out of the world," a long silent scream on rails down the dark nether slope of the hemisphere that is death's prelude.
So in a way, you could say I'm a hero.
And that's it. That's how I escaped certain death.
You really are the luckiest guy in the world, Barry. You should be dead, bro.
This is a revolution of the mind.
Truly remarkable, Barry Boo. Like something out of an Ambrose Bierce story.
You know, I think you're actually sexier than before, Barry. I know I said I'd never so much as use the same toilet seat as you, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, you're all right, Barry. You're all right. Tell you what, I went to high school with Josh Freeze. Yeah! And we're still good friends to this day. Motherfucker owes me $5. I'm gonna ask him to step down from the Foo Fighters gig so you can fill in for a while. Just a few gigs, though. Nothing permanent.
Hello? Yes, I do live with Barry.
Tell him he's an asshole.
Thank you. I'll let him know. Barry, that was your bank. They say they made an accounting error, and you have just enough money to pay for sex and buy a box of those microwavable cheeseburgers you like.
Oh, I love those little cheeseburgers. The outside's hot enough to burn the shit out of my tongue, but the inside is nice and frosty. Oh, this is splendid news. But there's just one thing that bothers me, Fly. What was that you were saying about not existing? I mean, that was some crazy talk.
Yeah, don't sweat it, Barry. I was just inviting you to consider the most likely scenario. You know, Occam's razor. Are you really having a conversation with a talking fly? I mean, what do you think this is, Meet the Feebles?
I'll be very discreet.
Well, Peter Jackson went on to direct Lord of the Rings, so there's always a chance of turning things around.
But we end up confronting additional questions, Barry. It's like those Russian nesting dolls, you know? This is a revolution of the mind. One question nested inside another.
Question?
Like that whole situation with the robots. How likely is it that you rode a missile to safety? I mean, what's the velocity of a surface-to-air missile? It's gotta be pretty high, right?
Wait, so you're saying...
Don't think about it too much, Barry. Definitely don't think of that movie Source Code starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Don't do it. Just think of this as a revolution of the mind.
Why does everybody keep saying that? I remember flying.
Barry, you're playing with fire.
I remember being tossed. Oh, God. I remember... No.
The clock has run, the horse has run, and which has measured which?
Bye-bye, Barry!
He won't be coming back from that.
Broke-ass bitch.
Although...
What is it?
I mean, did that seem a little too easy? You threw him halfway across the state last time, yet he survived. What's the likelihood that things would go so easy for us? Doesn't this seem sort of like wish fulfillment?
Don't question it, Frank.
Why not?
Because we claim agency. You and I. We are complete at every hour. The freedom of birds is an insult to us, and all roads lead to our way and not some other way. We will drive the remorseless sun to its final endarkment if we so choose.
Yeah, I guess.
Fuck it, dude. Let's go to the titty bar.
But there are no absolutes in human misery, and things can always get worse.
I warned them sons of bitches would take over the world.
You ordered me, Barry, and now you will bang me. Roly-poly looking butterball.
No, I ordered the hot one. God damn you, T-Bone.
God, you're heavy.
Hey, watch the grundle. But I didn't say you had to stop.
Ah, Jesus.